Where does Casablanca fit in the arc of his career, and did he realize at the time, did he feel during the making of it or afterwards that it was going to be, you know, a high point?
No one
Point?
did. Yeah. No one did. In fact, Hal Wallis, one of his last interviews before he directed his last film in 1975, he said, "We never dreamed it was going to be a classic. We started out to make a good picture." And at the time, Wallis had like 4 or 5 pictures in production. And the entire Casablanca shoot, and I think Noah will bear me out on this, was very stressful because they were continuing to write and rewrite. You had the Epstein, the principal writers were the Epstein brothers, Julie and Phil, and Howard Koch, and then you had Casey Robinson weighing in on the romance story, and you had other people that did ancillary things that didn't amount to a whole lot. But they were...
Didn't amount to a hill of beans.
Didn't amount to a hill of beans in this crazy mixed up Warner Brothers world in Burbank. But it was very stressful because they were having to learn new dialogue all the time, memorize that in the morning. And according to Ingrid Bergman, you know, she said, "Well, I don't know who I'm going to end up with. Am I going to end up with Bogart or Victor Laszlo?" Which really, if you look at the histography of that, that doesn't ring true at all, because it was very clear it was how she was going to go away with Victor Laszlo and how that was going to work. First of all, the production code would never let's let this angelic European character, you know, blow off her noble husband and to go off with her saloon keeper, gun running, you know, guy in a white dinner jacket. That was never ever going to happen. But to go back to your point, it was stressful. And really, Curtiz, interestingly, as someone who was such a titan on the sound stages and ruling his set and had the explosive temper. He was a very modest guy, and he always gave credit to Hal Wallis, and I think rightfully so, for Wallis putting his stamp on this movie right up to the parrot he put outside of Sidney Greenstreet's cafe, and did that. Certainly Curtiz had a lot of singular contributions, but who is it? Andrew Sarris referred to Casablanca as a happy accident.
Happiest of happy accidents.
Yeah, happy of happy accidents for those slavish adherents to the auteur theory. I tend to think of it as something that happened accidentally on purpose.